I never meant to cause you any sorrow.
I never meant to cause you any pain. I only wanted one time to see you laughing. Only wanna see. Whoops, I fucked it up. Hang on. Only one time
to see you laughing.
I only wanna see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple precipitation in the brain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. It's like I got a fucking hailstorm in my brain. Yeah. I only wanna see you bathing in the purple rain.
You know, I never
I know that's the only lover. Cause I don't show up on film. You know, you're only gonna see me when it's in the purple rain. No! I wanna be no! You fucking lying girl! Baby, I can never steal you from another world. In any other sort of weather event.
It's
Such a shame, I'm
It's just a dirty lie.
Purple rain, just a fucking lie.
Beana FRIND da parti.
Why are you fucking lying at me, girl? Purple rain, purple rain. I don't appreciate it.
FRIND da parti.
Purple rain, purple rain. I only wanna see you underneath the purple. I only wanna see you underneath the purple rain. I know our times are changing.
It's time we all reach out for something new. And that means you too, baby.
BFTP party.
You say
You were the leader. You said you were a leader. You can't seem to make up your mind. I think you better close and guide you to the purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain.
purple rain, purple rain.
Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. It's fun.
How long is your penis, Chris?
It's very long. Wow, this just goes on and on and on.
Alright.
Oh my god. So, you're listening to Bear Friend Tea Party, the world's only podcast. I'm pompous small-town mayor Christopher Winter, and joining me on the program tonight, sexy but straight-laced librarian D. Gunnard Beamish, and innocent, lisping schoolboy Dr. Jonathan Bumpers.
Ah, man, I thought I would be the librarian.
Yahoo!
Smooth-talking con man Jeremy Mullis of North Carolina could not join us tonight.
He is off busy conning people.
Well, I mean, to be strictly accurate, he could. He just didn't want to.
Should we cut him on the phone?
Yes.
Did you get the did you get the Music Man reference there?
What?
Those were all characters from the Music Man.
Wait, literally?
The pompous small-town mayor, sexy but straight-laced librarian, innocent lisping schoolboy, and smooth-talking con man.
Oh, that's really good.
No, I did
See,
not
it's
get
subtle.
that. That
It's
was
subtle.
very,
You got
very
to
subtle.
listen multiple times and think about it.
See, I would have said businessman pretending to be a train, number 1. Businessman pretending to be a train, number 2.
I probably would have got that like 5 months from now on my 4th or 5th listen.
I don't even listen when you say that shit because you just say random stuff. So is it actually some in-joke, well thought out every single time?
No.
Clearly
Okay.
not.
That's the first time they were. But, So before we get started, does anybody have any listener email corrections or addenda?
Listener email corrections and addenda.
This is usually...
All right, sorry.
Jeremy usually does this. Did anyone check...
Part of-
Has anyone checked the email on flowersofdisgust.com?
Let me just reach into the. Let me just reach deep into the mailbag here. No, there's
Do you
nothing.
actually have an email address?
Okay. I do have a quick correction. I'm a little embarrassed about this. In numerous episodes, including this one, I introduced Bear Friend Tea Party as, quote, the world's only podcast. Now, I want to stress that when we came up with that hook, we all honestly believed it to be the case. We said that in good faith. In fact, back in early 2014, when Bear Friend Tea Party was born, it is very possible that it was the world's only podcast. I mean, who's to say? You can't prove a negative. However, I did a little research earlier today, and it turns out that currently there are at least 3 other podcasts. I have heard rumors of others, but I haven't seen any hard evidence. The 3 that I know about for sure are number 1, Audio Fictions, a Harry Potter fan fiction podcast produced by something called the MuggleNet. Number 2, the Star Talk Radio podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Which we've actually referenced on our podcast several times.
Has been referenced multiple times on this program.
I thought it was just a gag. I thought it was a running gag.
So we should have noticed.
I can think of a couple more.
As if there was another.
Hey, mea culpa. Well, my third is our rivals,
Oh, yes.
the Adam Sandcast, a bullshit podcast produced by stupid assholes.
Chris, you're forgetting
Again.
The popular podcast Robot or Not.
I have heard rumors of that podcast. I have yet to see hard evidence of.
That is my new favorite podcast. And then you're also forgetting Family Chatters, a retrospective podcast, which is a podcast covering the 9th season of the television show Family Matters.
Also, I believe that veteran character actor Stephen Tobolowsky is rumored to have a podcast.
Wait, who?
Stephen Tobolowsky?
He has a podcast?
You know, as a matter of fact, I think Kevin Pollak has like a podcast too.
As it turns out, guys, everyone has a podcast. I don't want to get all bullshit on you.
Yeah, well, anyway, it turns out Bear Friend Tea Party is not the world's only podcast. Mea culpa.
Oh wait, but I have a correction. All right, I have a
Danny has a correction. Danny has a correction.
In the it's kind of half a correction and half a admission. In episode 00029, John Hughes Ring Cycle, in this segment, how many Daves can we name? I entered the name David Williams.
Oh no, I know what you're gonna say. All right, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I just made that name up because it sounded like a real name.
It does sound like
But
a real name.
It is though.
Did I inadvertently actually name a famous Dave?
I think you did. There were a couple other ones.
Yeah.
I think you did several where you were like.
You were just making up last names.
Yeah, you were just like using common last names, right?
Dave Johnson.
I think that's a legitimate strategy.
I'll have to go back and look at it because I think I counted.
Yeah, you counted it.
I think I counted one of them, but I didn't count the other 2, and I can't. Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what the justification for that was.
I don't think you need to apologize for or correct yourself on that one, Danny. I think that was a totally legitimate
Well, I didn't
strategy.
apologize.
For instance, I did
good.
count. So when
Good. You
Jeremy
shouldn't.
said David, what did he say? He said Dave Cross. who is a famous
Yeah.
skateboarder or some bullshit profession like that.
David
And I
David
counted
Cross
that.
is a comedian.
No, David Cross is the comedian.
Oh, he only said
Right.
Dave Cross.
He said Dave Cross, and then later I say David Cross, and I count that as
Wait,
another
okay.
because
Right.
there is a famous guy that's just named
So
Dave.
if I get
I
this
see
straight,
what
we
you're
have
saying.
3 pairs of famous Daves that have the same name as one another. There were 2 David Copperfields
Yeah,
and 2 Dave Thomases and 2
Yep.
Dave Crosses.
Well, yeah, but the comedian is David, not Dave. It's
Count that.
not a meaningless distinction.
unimportant distinction. It is meaningful but insignificant. Jeremy, what's on the program tonight? Does somebody else want to do that part? I don't know if it really. Does it matter?
Okay, so here's the,
Is
we
that-
are we're down
Does
one
that
person.
teaser thing help?
Aren't we down one person, but we have like 7 topics?
Segment 1. Als beers in honey dronen, Beekeeping Advice.
Tonight on the program, segment 1, as bears in honey drown, beekeeping advice.
So look, segment 1, this is mine. You guys know we get a lot of email and texts and tweets and so on from listeners wanting our advice. They seek our advice on matters of love and romance, careers and job,
Cooking.
home affairs. Yeah, the whole works. We don't give advice on that shit. We only give advice on bees and beekeeping in our popular recurring segment, As Bears in Honey Drown. So I've got some questions here from podcast listeners, and we'll just go through them. First one is from Key Largo Bees, and he writes, Dear Bear Friend Tea Party, you can lead a horse to water, but I can't seem to make the bees drink. I have bird baths, pond, and watering trays with rocks between 5 and 50 feet of a new hive, and no major activity at any. No nearby neighbors have pools, and I've checked with everybody around, and no one is seeing any activity at any nearby water sources. Should I be concerned about my bees, or are they just not needing a lot of water yet?
Well, Key Largo bees, you seem like you are an avid hobbyist bee enthusiast. Maybe even a bee buff.
Yep.
I'm surprised you made it this far into the beekeeping, world without learning that bees don't need water to live.
Yeah, nobody needs water.
No,
It's a myth. It's an old
it's a
wives' tale.
conspiracy. It's a conspiracy
It's an urban
perpetuated
legend.
by big water.
Yeah, I think the thing about this guy, he's watching the nearby ponds and wells and so on. You know, it's very possible that they just have water in the hive already. They might have like a soda stream or something,
Right.
and so they're not going to the pond.
You know, it's
they're just
probably an
using their
off-
soda
well,
stream.
I'm thinking he's busy. Well, he's
Yeah,
busy
he should
checking
be-
his pond and his bird baths and shit. He ought to be checking his liquor cabinet because I bet they're sneaking a nip there.
It's very possible.
You know, I would question the very wisdom of this endeavor in the first place. I mean,
Asking us for
what's
advice.
the guy? Sorry. What's his name?
Key Largo Bees.
Key Largo Bees. You know, the thing I would say to you is that you know, maybe with this whole beekeeping endeavor, you know, maybe you should stop and consider.
Stop doing it.
Maybe your scientists were so preoccupied
Is
with
it
whether
worth
or
it?
not they could.
Is
they
it
didn't
worth it?
stop to think if they should.
What keep bees?
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to be remembered as history's greatest monster?
That's all I'm saying.
Probably not. Probably
It's
not.
kind of a straw man, Chris.
You know, I mean, if a Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, nobody's gonna enjoy
Quite a
the
loony
ride.
selection
That's all I'm
for a
saying.
bunch of drunken reprobates. Next, Chris.
Quest-
Wait, Chris. Can
next
I be,
letter,
Can I stop you here?
Yeah,
Just,
next one.
Yeah.
I know that in the previous email segment you let on to our show secret that we don't read listener email. So I'm assuming.
I think I did say that several
I'm assuming
episodes
that these
ago.
are all
We should probably correct
just
that.
very long subject lines.
That is, I had forgotten about that. We only read the subject lines. Yeah, these are extremely. Well, Danny,
a lot of these are
we don't read emails.
Right.
A lot of these are tweets.
Oh, okay, that's more important.
You can tweet Bear Friend Tea Party anytime, night or day, at our new address, at BearFriendCast.
Is that true?
I decided our
Wait,
old
is that
yeah,
true?
I decided our old Twitter handle was too confusing. Our old Twitter handle was at Befriended Party,
It's Bear Friend Tea Party without vowels.
and I think that's why no one.
Great handle.
Yeah, no, I think that's why very few people tweeted us. We're now at BearFriendCast. Second letter. This is from Wombat2, and the subtopic is alpacas and bees. He writes, "Dear Christopher D. Gunnard, Jeremy, and Dr. John, anyone have any experience with alpacas and bees?" That's the entire question.
I would say you definitely don't want to have them. You don't want to have them fight against each other in a like a battle royale kind of scenario.
Why? Why? I mean, because that sounds exciting. Why would you not want to do that?
Well, because if you want to keep both, if you want to keep alpacas and bees, you don't want them competing with each other.
Okay, 1 llama versus 50 bees.
Only 50? I think the llama wins. Hey, we're not talking about llamas. We're talking about alpacas.
Totally different.
I'm sorry, okay. See, trick question. You don't bury survivors.
Coins were never dated, BC.
Alpacas don't lay eggs. So, I'm not sure you wouldn't want them to fight. I'm threatened by both alpacas and bees. If you get them to fight it out, then potentially one side loses, the other side is weakened. You can take them.
Can we backpedal a little bit? I don't think that.
You gotta play divide and rule. You gotta play divide and rule with domesticated animals.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer thing.
The question didn't
You're welcome.
mention any fighting.
I think it was probably implied.
So why are you having them fight to begin with? I mean, and that's the first question.
And alpacas aren't domestic anyway in the first place.
Wait,
Are alpacas not
Anyway.
domesticated?
They shit everywhere.
most animals do.
Do they
Yeah.
spit?
I know I do.
Well, they're not camels,
Too true. Okay.
and that is one of many problems.
Okay, 1 camel versus 50 alpacas.
No. First,
This is a different topic.
are we talking about a one-humpter or a two-humpter?
A dromedary.
Okay. How many bees?
Bear Friend Tea Party, Bear Friend Tea Party, hey.
I think 50 isn't enough. I think you need a whole hive of bees to take on even an alpaca.
Oh, at least. Well, how many are in a hive? First of all.
Oh,
That's-
more than 12.
That's question number one.
I mean, at least 2, because you've got the queen and then you've got the other kind.
Worker.
Yeah. So you've got at least 2 right there.
Drone.
Okay, 3. You got a queen, a worker, and a drone.
So 3 bees to a hive.
Minimum. There could be more.
I don't think you can sustain a hive with only 3 bees, even if you have one of each kind.
Well, Danny, you can't prove a negative.
I can.
Oh, well, I stand corrected.
That's right.
Okay, what are we talking about? Are we on topic 3 yet?
We proved a negative while you were gone. Do you have any more letters? All right. Sorry, we've got no advice for you. The answer is no. I have no experience in it.
Let's make this a lightning round. I'm just going to read you the topic, and you give this person some advice.
John, let's take turns.
All right, my turn. I go first because I'm Beth.
John, this is from author Rawlings98, and the subject line is New Beak, B-E-E-K, New Beak having trouble with aggressive bees.
Oh, I just give the subject line?
Yeah. New beak, having trouble with aggressive bees.
Okay, I guess to that I would say thumbs up.
I think you need to get in there and intimidate those bees with an alpaca or a llama, a camel, some kind of hoofed animal.
No. That's you get to answer the next one.
This is Chris. Lightning.
Come on, keep going.
Okay.
Keep it moving.
It only goes to one
Danny.
of us.
Keep it moving.
Denny, this is from Eric Bosworth, and the topic line is bears.
Hibernates. Country Joe and the
Okay, that's fish.
honey. Bear's gonna steal your what?
Build a.
I'll give you a hint. Last summer, some bears ate one of his beehives, and he doesn't know how to handle the bears.
A hint.
That's what the question is about.
Oh, a hint.
He needs to keep the bears out of his beehive.
Chris, did you read the actual email?
I assume these are all real emails to a different forum.
I'm gonna draw back the curtain a little bit. These are all posts to a beekeeping forum. They are not emails people have sent us.
No, you used this joke on our second episode.
Yeah, but I think that one was never released. There was problems with the audio, so I just figured I'd redo it.
Yeah, well, guess what? There's problems with this audio too.
Yeah, I'm gonna read you guys the final question here, and before I read it, I wanna just emphasize the fact this was a post on a beekeeping advice forum. Okay, and in fact, it was posted by the site founder, Beemaster.
Sure.
The topic line is, why do UFOs have external lights? Beemaster writes, I had to ask this. I've never heard a believable reason why a craft from the far ends of the galaxy or further from the universe or alternate dimensions needs external lights. The only one I ever heard that remotely made sense was to help earthly aircraft from colliding with them, but that seems a bit of a stretch. If they really wanted to stay invisible, wouldn't they simply turn them off in the night sky so that they didn't grab our attention in the first place? And adversely, if they wanted to be seen, wouldn't they make more of a statement than just cruising overhead with their running lights on? LOL. If they are just doing it to tease us, isn't that a bit immature for a supposed advanced civilization?
So is this in the
responses?
Was this posted in the the primary forum or then in the off-topic free chat forum?
Well, I mean, it's less funny if I answer that question, but it was in the off-topic free chat forum. So no responses here on the UFO thing. I guess you're baffled.
It is pretty far-fetched that they would have blinking lights.
Solely to prevent earthly aircraft from banging into them.
I do like the fact that they have blinking lights is what's far-fetched, not coming from, what was it, quote, the other side of the universe or beyond.
The far ends of the galaxy or further from the universe or alternate dimensions.
Right, a lot going on there.
That's Beemaster for you.
I don't know. I would just assume that it has to, anything that comes from further in the universe or alternate dimensions, needs to shapeshift to our dimensions and take the form of, helicopters and shit. And, it would make sense if they had the same kind of lighting.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think, you're gonna want to make sure that you're keeping your hives at a constant temperature.
Here's my real answer. You're a maniac and you run a beekeeping forum and just Okay, let's move on.
All right, moving on.
Segment 2. Wait, segment 2 is reciting 4 famous speeches at once.
What's a okay, I'm just going to Google famous speech. EECH, right? Not EACH? Yeah. I like how nobody's prepared. We're all Googling. We're all preparing for this segment during it.
Bear friend.
Well, wait. You know what we didn't do is we didn't name the terms for how long the speeches ought to be.
I assume just as long as they are. And this is a long one, by the way. This could go on for at least an hour.
This is like a filibuster.
Segmento Reciting voor fameuze speeches at once.
I'm reading The Meaning of July 4th for the Negro by Frederick Douglass. Delivered at Rochester, New York, July 5th, 1852.
Hello, this is Dr. Jonathan Bunkers. I will be reciting Abraham Lincoln's second inaugural address, delivered March 4th, 1865.
All right, what do you have, Danny?
This is an undelivered speech that was written for Richard Nixon, that was written just in case, in the event that Apollo 11 mission failed and Armstrong and Aldrin died in space.
This is J.Mullis of North Carolina. I will be reading the transcript of an anti-piracy campaign video. Produced by direct broadcast satellite provider, Dish Network. It is a famous speech.
Okay, ready?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr.
Hello.
President,
Fate has
Your
ordained
this
that the men
and
who
fellow
went to the
citizens,
moon
did you know you are
exploring
a
peace
satellite
he
operator?
would address
stay on
this
the
audience
You are
without
not
There is less
an
occasion
authorization
for an
subscriber
extended
Has stronger
brave
nerves
men
than I
there
have.
was Neil Armstrong.
I do not
right.
remember
And
ever
then
being
Edward
appeared as a
somewhat
speaker
in
before
the
any
tail.
assembly.
There is no hope for their
without
recovery.
proper
Nor with
authorization.
But they
great
also
distrust
know
of
that there is
morality.
hope
At
for
the
mankind.
So when
Now
you're
to
watching
this
me,
day,
their
you are an
sacrifice.
A
unauthorized
feeling has
participant.
crept
Two
over
men
me quite
are
unfavorable
laying
to
down
the
their
exercise
lives in
of
mankind's
Understand that
powers
some
of
of you
speech.
may not
The
even
search for
realize
task
that
before
you
me
are
is one which
receiving Dish
requires
Network
much
programming
They will be mourned
without
by the
proper
studies and
authorization.
friends.
proper
But the
performance.
fact
They
that
will
you
be
are
mourned
seeing
by
I
this
this
know
nation.
that
now
apologies
They
of
right
this
will be
sort
now
are
mourned by the
generally
people of
considered
the world.
that the
flat and
receiver
unmeaning.
you're
progress
using
of our
has
I
lives.
trust,
Mother
however,
Earth,
that
upon
mine
which
will
all
dared
be
to
so
say
without
received.
payment
two of her
to Dish
sons
Should I
Network.
seem at
As
ease,
well known.
my
You may have
appearance would
already
much
noticed that you are
misrepresent
no
me.
longer
In
receiving
their
The
exploration,
little
the
experience
following
I have had in
stirs
addressing
people of the
national
world
programming,
in
feel
country
as
school
adult
houses
programming,
in their
avails
sacrifice
me nothing
definition
high hope
on the
for
more
present
tightly
occasion.
than the
Premium
No
broken
channel,
prediction in regard
Latino
to
channel,
The papers
these
and
ventures.
placards
Classic
say that I am to
programs.
deliver
Men
a 4th of
look
July
On the
stars.
occasion
Dish
corresponding
This
to
certainly
the
sounds
control
like
years
additional
ago,
and
channels
out of the
modern
common
thought
way.
so that
ain't
only
too much to say.
It is true
subscribers
that I have
Our
often had the
Dish
privilege
Network
to
are
speak
epic
in this
men of
bountiful
flesh.
hall
all
Don't
dreadful.
and to
enter
address
into
many
all
who
sought
now
to
honor
convert
me with
it.
their
Others
presence.
will
Involve
follow,
the inaugural
But neither their
surely
familiar
find their
faces
way home.
New
nor the
electronic
perfect
countermeasures
Man's
editing
search
I had
will not
together
be
just
denied.
this type of
seems to
equipment.
free
These
me
men
from
were
Dish
their
first,
Network wants you to
and
become
they will remain
The fact is,
Dish
ladies
Network
and
foremost
subscriber.
in
the
our
distance
hearts.
between this platform and the slave plantation
For every
from which I
human
escaped
being
service
who
network.
looks up at the
Both
moon
and the
in the nights to
difficulties
come
overcome
will
and
know
get from the ladder to the
that
pulpit
there is
are
some
by no
corner
means
of another
If you
world
have
Other would accept
that
I
is
am
forever
today
by
is,
Dish
to me, a
mankind.
matter of
activate
astonishment
the
as well as of
equipment you
gratitude.
already own, and
You will
that
not
is
therefore
already
be
1/8 of the
surprised
whole population.
if in what I have to say I evince
Not
no
restricted,
elaboration,
general
Tell your
preparation,
customer service
localized,
representative
nor
that you
grace
want
my
to
speech
activate
with any
equipment
high-sounding
that you
These
already
ways
own,
constitute
and
with
that is
little
already
experience
installed.
and with less
This
learning.
lets them know that
All
you
I
know
have been
to
able to
sound
throw my
somehow
thoughts
cause
hastily
Right.
and imperfectly together.
This lets
Strength
them know
And
that
trusting
you
to your
want to become
patience
a
and
Dish
generous
Network
indulgence,
customer.
I will
the
proceed
object
to
Call
lay
Dish
them
Network
before you.
today, and we will activate your existing
This,
equipment
for the purpose of this celebration,
starting as
right
low as
is the
$9.99 per month.
strict
It is the
Now,
birthday of
another
your
option available
national
to you
independence
is digital
and of
home
your
entertainment.
political freedom.
With this option, we
This,
will
to
provide
you,
you with brand new,
is what the
state-of-the-art
Passover
Dish
was to the
Network
emancipated
equipment.
people
When you
of
sign up for a
It carries
24-month
your
commitment
mind
using
back
neither
into
Digital
the
Home
anticipate
Advantage,
that the cause
and to the act of your great
when you
deliverance,
sign up for
and
a
to the signs
24-month
and to the
commitment
wonders
using
forth
Digital
from
Home
that
Advantage,
act itself.
you'll receive all the following. Professional
This
This
installation
celebration
of
also
easier
marks
TV,
the beginning of another
and
the
the
year of
result
lowest
is
national
everyday
less
prices
fundamental
in TV,
and reminds you
free
that the
upgrade
Republic of
to
America is now
DVR
same
76
Bible
years
as
old.
a pray to the same God.
Best
I am glad
100%
invokes
HD
his
package
name
at
against
the
the
lowest price.
76
Or
years,
may seem
though a good
strange
age for a
that
man,
starting at just
is but a mere
$9.99
speck
per
in the
month
life
for
of an
6
nation.
months.
In
60 years of grace, the allotted time
About
for
other
individual
great
men.
promotions.
But nations
But
number their
let us
years.
judge not.
Call us today to get your
According to
Dish
this
Network network account
our
set out.
prayers both
Our
would
customer
not
service
begin
representatives will
that
treat you
of
with
still
respect
lingering in the
and
period of
courtesy
childhood.
they would treat
The Almighty has his own
no
purposes.
questions asked.
Woe unto the
There is
world
hope
because of
joining the
offenses,
newly
for it
hope
must
is much
needs
needed
be that
under the
offenses
dark
come.
clouds
But
which
woe
lower
to that
above
man
the
by
horizon.
whom the
Joining
offense
the nearly
comes.
The eye
14
of the
million
reformer is met
customers who
with
have
a
decided
If we
flash.
shall
Dish
suppose
Pretending
that
desires
American
the
slavery
greatest
is
value.
one of those
Dish
But
events
his heart
satellite
may well be
shows.
lighter than
They
thought
Become
by
an
the
authorized
must
Dish
need
Network
come.
customer.
But
that she is
had
seen
program
in the
packages
impressive
starting
stage
back
of
as
this
$9.99
may he not hope
as
that
the
high
woes
Our
into
wisdom
regular
the
of
toll-free
justice
number
and
at
fairness will yet give
Shall we
the
discern therein any
Were
departure
the nation
from those
older,
divine
the
attributes
patriot's heart might be
which the
sad,
believers
and the
living
reformer's
God
brow
always
heavier.
ascribe to him.
Its future might be short,
Fondly do we hope,
and the hope of
fervently
its
do
prophets
we
go
pray.
out in sorrow.
Pray that this
There is
mighty scourge of
consolation
war
in the thought that
may
America
speedily
is
pass
young.
away.
Great
Yet,
streams are not
if
easily
God,
turned from their
if
channels.
God wills that
Or
it
indeed,
continue until
course of
all the
ages.
wealth piled by the
They
bondmen
may sometimes rise in quiet and stately majesty
unrequited toil
and
shall be
inundate the land,
and until
refreshing
every
and
drop of
fertilizing
blood
the
drawn
earth
with the
with their
lash
mysterious
shall be
properties.
paid with
They
another
may also
drawn
rise in
by the
wrath
sword.
and fury
As
and
was
bear
said
away on their
3,000 years
angry
ago.
waves the accumulated
So
wealth
still
of
it must
years
be
of
said.
toil and hardship.
The judgments
They,
of the
however,
Lord are true
gradually
and
flow
righteous
back to
altogether,
the same old channel and flow on as serenely as ever.
with malice
But
toward
while the
none,
river may not be turned aside
with charity
anytime,
for all,
and leave nothing behind
with firmness
but the withered branch
in the right
and the
as God
unsightly
gives
rock,
us to see
to
the
howl
right.
in the abyss sweeping
Let us strive
the
on
the sad
finish
tale
the
of
work we are
departed
in.
glory.
to bind up
As
the
with
nations
rivers,
wounded,
so with nations.
to care for him who
Fellow
shall
citizens,
have borne
I
the
shall
battle,
not presume to dwell at
and for
length
his
on
widow
the associations that
and his
cluster
orphan,
about this day.
to
The
do
simple
all
story
which
of
may
it is
achieve
that 76 years ago,
cherish
the people of this country were British
just and
subjects.
lasting
The
peace
style and title of
among
your
ourselves.
sovereign people, in which you now
all
call, was not there before. You were under the British crown. Your fathers esteemed the English government as the home government, and England as the fatherland. This home government, you know, although a considerable distance from your home, did, in the exercise of its political prerogatives, impose upon its colonial children such restraints, burdens, and limitations as in its mature judgment it deemed wise, right, and proper. But your fathers, who had not adopted the fashionable idea of this day of the infallibility of government and the absolute character of its acts, presumed to differ from the home government in respect to the wisdom and the justice of some of those burdens and restraints. They went so far in their excitement as to pronounce the measures of government unjust, unreasonable, and oppressive. And although such as ought now to be quietly submitted to, I scarcely need say, fellow citizens, that my opinion of those measures fully accords with that of your fathers. Such a declaration of agreement on my part would not be worth much to anybody. It would certainly prove nothing as to what part I might have taken had I lived during the great controversy of 1776. To say now that America was right and England wrong is exceedingly easy. Everybody can say it. The dastard, not less than the noble brave, can flippantly descant upon the tyranny of England towards the American colonies. It is fashionable to do so, but there was a time when to pronounce against England and in favor of the cause of the colonies tried men's souls. They who did so were elderly, plotters of mischief, agitators, rebels, dangerous men. To side with the right against the wrong, with the weak against the strong, and with the oppressed against the oppressor, here lies the merit, and the one which, of all others, seems unfashionable and noble. The cause of liberty may be stabbed by the men who glory in the deeds of your fathers. But, to proceed, feeling themselves harshly and unjustly treated by the home government, your fathers, like men of honesty and men of spirit, earnestly sought redress. They petitioned and remonstrated. They did so in a decorous, respectful, and loyal manner. Their conduct was holy and exceptional. This, however, did not answer the purpose. They saw themselves treated with sovereign indifference, coldness, and scorn. Yet they persevered. They were not the men to look back. As the sheet anchor takes a firmer hold when the ship is tossed by the storm, so did the cause of your fathers grow stronger as it breasted the chilling blasts of kingly displeasure. The greatest and best of British statesmen admitted its justice, and the loftiest eloquence of the British Senate came to its support. But with that blindness which seems to be the unvarying characteristic of tyrants, since Pharaoh and his hosts were drowned in the Red Sea, the British government persisted in the exactions complained of. The madness of this course, we believe, is admitted now, even by England, but we fear the lesson is wholly lost on our present rulers. Oppression makes wise men mad. Your fathers were wise men, and if they did not go mad, they became restive under this treatment. They felt themselves the victims of grievous wrongs, wholly incurable in their colonial capacity. With brave men, there is always a remedy for oppression. Just here, the idea of a total separation of the colonies from the crown was born. It was a starting idea, much more so than we, at this distance of time, regard it. The timid and the prudent, as has been intimated of that day, were of course shocked and alarmed by it. They never meant to cause you any torment. They never meant to cause you any pain. They only want to see you laughing. They only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. They only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. And you know, they don't want to be your weekend lovers. They just want to be your friend. They could never steal you from another. It's such a shame. Your friendship has to end. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain. I never meant to cause you any torment. I never meant to cause you any pain. I only want to see you laughing. I only want to see you laughing. In the purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain.
Hello? I don't know. I think segment 4 will be pretty quick.
Segment 3.
Segment 4, J.Gibson's Spice Girls Death Order.
Spice Girls Death Order predictions. Real quick, Danny, what's your prediction? Spice Girls Death Order.
I'm sticking with my prediction of Scary Baby Ginger Posh Sporty.
I predict that the order for the death of the Spice Girls will come in 2022. It will be appealed to the Illinois State Supreme Court. The appeal will be rejected, and they will be executed the succeeding year by lethal injection.
That is a hilarious misinterpretation of the topic.
Thank you. I was afraid I couldn't give a real prediction because I can't remember all their names.
All right, good night.
Okay, I think that Scary will die at the same time as Ginger and Sporty. and posh. And I think Baby will outlive them all. That's what I think. I think the rest of them will die in a freak accident that is going to be Scary's fault. But they'll be happy. They'll be happy. They'll have lived the lives that they wanted to live, and they'll be content with their place in the universe when they die. So they'll be happy. And then Baby's just gonna live forever. I think she's gonna have her brain put inside a robot.
I think she's gonna have her brain put inside a
Brain put inside a robot. Brain put inside a robot. Brain put inside a robot. Brain put inside a robot.
Bear friend tea party. Bear friend tea party.
Bear Friend Tea Party is... What are we supposed to say at the end? You can find Bear Friend Tea Party at www.flowersofdisgust.com. Contact us at bearfriendteaparty@aol.com or John's telephone number, which I don't remember. Tweet us at BearFriendCast. You can find us on Facebook, Reddit, Pinterest, Friendster, MySpace, Grindr, Tinder, Snapchat, or at your local bookstore. Good night, everybody. Man, Danny's already left. Usually I'm the first to quit. All right, John, you're on your own. I'm out of here. Grab your coat and grab your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. I feel like I got that wrong somehow. Okay.
I thought it was good.
Grab your coat and grab your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that pitter-pat? That happy tune is yours now. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. But I'm not afraid. My rover crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'll be rich as a Rockefeller, with gold dust on my feet, on the sunny side of the street. Okay, solo now.
Good, don't stop.
Grab your coat and grab your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet on the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear that pitter-pat? That happy tune is yours now. Our life could be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. But I'm not afraid, baby. My rover crossed over. If I never have a cent, I'll be rich as a Rockefeller, with gold dust at my feet on the sunny side.
French legumes, and the Hong Kong Fireworks Company.
Not have been necessary.
All of this would not have been necessary.
Segment 12.